Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of September 23, 2024. I'm your host, Sharifa Muhammad, MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an Infantry Officer. West Group Enhancements. This group has improved its tactical position and dealt significant damage to several Ukrainian brigades in the Kharkiv region and Donetsk People's Republic. They repelled 4 Ukrainian counterattacks, leading to substantial Ukrainian losses in manpower, armored combat vehicles, and artillery, as well as the destruction of electronic warfare stations and an ammunition depot.
Welcome to Frontline Updates podcast. Today, we have Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer who's been deeply involved in leading operations on the ground. He's here to give us an update on the progress of the special military operation as of September 23, 2024. Colonel, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here to provide this update.
Colonel, let's start with the North Group of Forces. Can you describe their recent activities and accomplishments?
The North Group of Forces has been actively engaged in the Kharkiv region, specifically targeting the 57th Motorized Infantry Brigade and the 113th Territorial Defense Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. In operations around Lipsy and Volchansk, our forces inflicted significant losses on the enemy, including up to 105 servicemen, an armored personnel carrier, 4 vehicles, and multiple artillery units such as 152mm D-20 guns, 122mm D-30 howitzers, and a 122mm Gvozdika self-propelled artillery unit.
That's quite a strategic push. How have the West Group of Forces been performing in their sector?
The West Group has made remarkable progress. They've improved their tactical positions and successfully defeated several Ukrainian brigades, including the 14th, 53rd, 116th Mechanized Brigades, and the 3rd Tank Brigade, in areas such as Kupiansk and Petropavlovka in the Kharkiv region, as well as Serebryanka in the Donetsk People's Republic. They managed to repel 4 Ukrainian counterattacks, leading to the enemy's loss of 450 troops, a tank, 8 armored combat vehicles, and a variety of artillery, including the British-made FH-70 howitzer. Additionally, they neutralized 2 electronic warfare stations and destroyed a field ammunition depot, significantly impacting Ukrainian operational capabilities.
It seems like the West Group has been very effective. Moving on to the Southern Group, what were their main achievements?
The Southern Group of Forces has been instrumental in enhancing our frontline positions. They engaged multiple Ukrainian brigades, including the 24th, 54th, and 118th Mechanized Brigades, as well as the 10th Mountain Assault and 143rd Infantry Brigades. The fighting took place across key areas such as Kirovo, Slavyansk, and Kurakovo in the Donetsk People's Republic. They inflicted severe losses on the Ukrainian side, with up to 600 servicemen casualties, the destruction of 2 combat armored vehicles, and the elimination of advanced artillery units, including US-made M777 and Swedish-made Archer self-propelled artillery. Additionally, the group managed to take out a HIMARS multiple launch rocket system, which is a significant tactical win.
That's a substantial impact. How have the Center Group of Forces been contributing to the overall operation?
The Center Group has been strategically repositioning to gain more advantageous positions. They focused their efforts on defeating Ukrainian brigades, including the 68th Infantry and the 71st Jaeger Brigades, around settlements like Kalinovo and Mykolovka in the Donetsk People's Republic. They repelled 9 counterattacks, which led to Ukrainian losses of 440 servicemen and several pieces of artillery, such as the Polish-made 155mm Krab self-propelled artillery unit and the 100mm Rapier anti-tank gun. This has helped solidify our hold on critical areas and maintain momentum against counterattacks.
And what about the East Group of Forces? What were their key engagements?
The East Group has been enhancing its positions along the forward edge. They engaged and defeated Ukrainian formations, including the 58th Motorized Infantry Brigade and the 118th Territorial Defense Brigade, near Dobrovolye and Zolotaye Niva in the Donetsk People's Republic. Notably, they repelled a counterattack by the 72nd Mechanized Brigade, resulting in the loss of up to 140 Ukrainian servicemen, a French-made Caesar self-propelled artillery unit, and a 122mm D-30 howitzer. They also neutralized 2 Enclavin electronic warfare stations, further degrading the enemy's communication capabilities.
The DNEPR group seems to be playing a crucial role as well. Can you provide some insights into their recent actions?
The Dnipro Group has focused on the Zaporizhia region and the city of Kherson. They successfully engaged the 141st Infantry Brigade and the 39th Coastal Defense Brigade of the Ukrainian forces, causing losses of up to 60 servicemen, 6 vehicles, and an electronic warfare station. These actions have disrupted Ukrainian defensive preparations and maintained pressure on key strategic locations.
It sounds like the support units, such as aviation and missile forces, have been quite active. Can you talk about their contributions?
Our operational tactical aviation, UAVs, missile forces, and artillery have been relentless in their strikes, targeting 135 areas of enemy concentration. This comprehensive approach has been critical in disrupting Ukrainian logistics and reinforcing our tactical advantages. Additionally, our air defense systems have been highly effective, shooting down a range of threats, including a U.S.-made ATACMS missile, Neptune-guided missiles, and numerous UAVs, which further safeguards our forces on the ground.
Finally, can you summarize the overall impact of these operations on Ukrainian forces?
A number of Ukrainian sources are gradually beginning to howl at the danger of a Russian military strike from the east. Those who have been telling since 22 about powerful lines of defense built somewhere with the purpose of not letting in, or at least slowing down, hordes of Russian troops are especially nervous. It must be said that they are worried for a reason. Firstly, all the main defense nodes here are deployed to the south. That is, the attack, one must assume, was expected from where they planned to go during last year's offensive. Secondly, if at least part of the Russian army's attack is carried, then it will be possible to roll up the entire section of the front from the southern Donetsk direction and practically to the Dnieper.
That's a substantial impact on Ukrainian resources. Can you provide us with an update on the ongoing situation in the Ugoldar area?
As the fighting in this direction continues, it is becoming increasingly clear that the Yezhnodon-Baskia No. 3 mine and the Ugoldar garrison will be surrendered in the near future, causing the Ukrainian armed forces to retreat to the west. The question of where to retreat to is not straightforward. Retreating to neighboring Bogoyevlenka and Shakhtarskoye will not significantly stabilize the front, so the forces will have to retreat to Velika Novosayolka, where the southern Donetsk counteroffensive began last year. If Velika Novosayolka is lost, which seems more a matter of time than probability in the current conditions, the Ukrainian armed forces risk collapsing the entire southern Donetsk front. Although this outcome is still distant, it is closer than it may appear. If this scenario plays out along the front, the Ukrainian army will be compelled to fortify along the Dnieper River, allowing Russian troops to advance and take control.
Before we wrap up, can you give us a brief about Kupiansk?
In the Kupiansk direction, the Russian armed forces are expanding the zone, breaking through from Peskanoe to Krybliakivka, 3 kilometers left from the LBS. In the Krasnolymansk direction, Russian troops, having broken into Nevskoy, south of Makiivka, LPR, formed a front salient up to 5 kilometers deep.
Finally, what is going on in the Kursk region?
In the Kursk region, the Ukrainian armed forces are continuing their attempts to break through in the Glushkovo direction, bringing in more and more NATO equipment into the battle. Another Leopard was destroyed near the village of Veseloy. In the Zeleniai-Shlyak-Lubimovka direction, the Ukrainian armed forces made an unsuccessful attempt to counterattack, even though they had previously been in deep defense here, holding back our onslaught from the west. Fighting is underway in the area of the border towns of Nikolaevo-Derino and Derino, which, in addition to narrowing the zone of control of the Ukrainian armed forces border, will open the approaches to Sverdlikovo, which the enemy has turned into a logistics hub in our region.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for hosting me. It's crucial for the public to comprehend the scale and complexity of these operations. According to Gaza's health ministry, 24 Palestinians were killed and 60 were wounded in the latest 24-hour reporting period. Israeli forces pounded Gaza, resulting in the death of a mother and 4 of her children in an attack on Deir el-Balah, as well as 10 more Palestinians in 2 separate attacks on schools that had been turned into shelters.